Hey guys, welcome back to Bill's Beer Reviews. Today we're going to sample another great American beer, but before we drink it, we have to know something about it. This beer was first produced in 1890, and at an unknown time, for an unknown reason, production stopped. But it was reintroduced in 1955 by the Schlitz Brewing Company and marketed as a value-based brew. In 1982, the recipe was sold to the Stroh Brewing Company, which continued production. In 2000, all the Stroh's assets, including their beer recipes, were sold to the Pabst Brewing Company, formerly in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This beer, and all of the versions of this beer, have won numerous awards at the Great American Beer Festival and the World Beer Cup. In fact, the light version of this beer, in the last 10 years, has won more awards and medals than any other American light beer. And the cool thing about this beer is in 1987, the party ball was invented, which is just a big plastic ball filled with 5 gallons of beer, and the very first beer they put in it was what I'm going to drink today. And what we're drinking today is Old Milwaukee. And I've never actually had this beer, but it's another cheap beer. I just bought a 30-pack. I think it cost $18. So without further ado, let's drink beer. Alright, let's see if I can get the pour right for you guys. Okay. Now the very first thing I notice, it is a light golden color. It's outrageously carbonated. I don't know if you guys can see all that or not. Got the upside down snowstorm going on. A very thick white frothy head. I smell hints of hops. As is usually the case with American style beers, the hops have a slightly spicy aroma. Us Americans are really big on German hops. And, well, let's have a taste, shall we? Well, first thing I notice is it is outrageously carbonated. It's very, very fizzy, even more so than soda, I believe. When you first drink it, you taste malt, not a lot of malt. This is an adjunct beer, much like the beer kits that you guys can see me brewing. If I had to guess, this is probably anywhere between 40 and 60% malt. The rest of it are adjuncts like corn sugar, rice syrup, maltodextrin and the like. But you can taste the malt. You can taste the hops, and they are spicy, but the hops don't overpower the malt. At first, you taste the malt, and then halfway through swallowing it, the malt breaks away, and you can taste the hops. It has a very crisp, very clean, and somewhat dry finish to it. All in all, I have to say it's a really good beer. The light color, the light taste, and the carbonation makes it very refreshing on a very hot summer's day. I'm sure it'll go just as well on a cold day when you're sitting inside watching the snow fall outside. And I'd just like to say, for me, this beer has a different history. When I was growing up in the late 70s and early 80s, every weekend, or most every weekend, Mom would pile all us kids in the car, and we'd go up to my grandparents' house and spend the day with Mom and Papa. Now, my grandfather was a Korean War veteran, and he had a reputation of being somewhat of a mean kind of guy. But from everything my relatives have told me, he was definitely a stand-up, take-charge guy. But when we would go to my grandparents' house, my grandfather, he'd be sitting in the back room, and he was always only watching either ice hockey, boxing, or horse racing. And he had one of those little metal trays next to the chair he always sat in. And there was always two things on that tray: a jar of dry roasted peanuts and an old Milwaukee in 16-ounce returnable bottles. So that's my personal story of the beer. Anybody else has stories like that, make a video response or just comment down below. I answer most every comment I get, guys. Honestly though, it's a good beer. When you go to a beer distributor, most of the time they got all the popular beers or all the higher priced beers and all the microbrew beers up front, right at the door. That's the first thing that catches your eye when you walk in. But you know, don't pay any attention. Go to the back of the beer distributor. You know, grab yourself a case of old Milwaukee. You'll probably have to dust it off. Bring it home, chill it down, grab a movie, and enjoy your night. So, it really is a good beer, guys. You know, you can hear me tell you how good it is, or you can try it yourself, and I hope you do. Thanks for watching my videos, as always. I hope your week this far has been good. I hope the rest of your week is even better. Cheers, guys. 17.